As the world's most competitive motocross series heads to the Maryland coast, a championship battle is taking shape. Can the contenders answer the call? Through the first two rounds of the 2011 title chase, Chad Reed was setting the pace on board his 22 Motorsports Honda. Chad Reed wins in Freestone. As the series moved east last week in Pennsylvania, Kawasaki's Ryan Villopoto made a statement with his victory at historic High Point Raceway. Ryan Villopoto wins his first moto of 2011. Is this the time for Suzuki's Ryan Dungey or Yamaha's Davey Millsaps to claim the checkered flag? We're ready to drop the gate in the 450 class. The Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship starts right now from Budds Creek. Just outside of our nation's capital on a Father's Day weekend, it's round 4 of the 2011 Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship. It's the Budds Creek National from Mechanicsville, Maryland. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Budds Creek. Jason Wygant, of course, joined by four-time AMA National Champion Jeff Emig for Speed's coverage of the 450 class of AMA Pro Motocross. Let's give you the big picture storylines we'll be following today. First, Ryan Villopoto back on the board. Our Supercross champion struggling a little bit early in motocross, but he bounces back with a big win 1 week ago in Pennsylvania. So Villopoto is definitely going to be a contender now for the rest of the year. And speaking of back on the board, Josh Grant happened to be back racing at all. Knee surgery knocked him out of competition for nearly 6 months. He will make his 2011 motocross debut today. And how about Ryan Dungey, our defending series champ, yet to win a race so far this year, but he was the fastest rider in qualifying this afternoon at Budds Creek. So today could be the day that Dungey finally gets win numero uno. So for more analysis on all that, we turn it over to Jeff Emig, our four-time champ, talk about Budds Creek and talk about the competition it's going to race today.
Well, yeah, the big story here is this track. Legendary facility. There's been some epic battles go down at this place. Heat and humidity are prevalent here. Track is getting really rough. It's going to be physical, and riders going to have to get after it. And I think that today, the three top riders on the top of the championship points, these guys are legendary riders, and I believe that we're going to see a great battle between those three riders here later on.
Give you the 4-1-1 and tell you exactly how we race motocross on speed. We run 2 motos in this 450 class, 40 riders in each, and each of those races lasts 30 minutes plus 2 laps. At the end of the day, we combine the scores from the 2 races to determine an overall winner. And we do have highlights from the first moto coming out in a bit, but first, we're going to show you exactly what this track is like to ride with our GoPro lap with Nick Way.
All right, up to basically the top of the track. And the reason I chose this section for the GoPro onboard is, of course, because of what's coming up when you go down this deep, loamy straightaway, follow up the ruts. This is Henry Hill, legendary spot on the track where Doug Henry suffered a horrendous crash. He would come back to win here, but you can see earlier today in qualifying, it's pretty soft and pretty rutted. And so far, now that we've gone through, the track's rougher. There's more ruts on the track than even before. So right here, taking a look at the track map, it all looks pretty easy, but I'm telling you, get through these rollers, through the finish line, here's where you start to have some undulation in the track, up and down these hills, off camber, triple step down here, these Rockstar and Thor jumps here, and that's what's so great about this track, is it's got a lot of natural terrain, but they built some big obstacles in it. Huge uphill triple right here, down through the onboard section that we showed you, over the Lucas Oil Henry Hill, and that's a lap at Budds Creek.
And as we mentioned, we do have a moto complete already today, so we'll give you the highlights of our first race. Gate drops. Chad Reed going to elbow a bunch of guys out of the way in the first turn, do what he needs to do, and put the 22 machine up front.
And of course, Chad Reed has won 4 of the 6 motos, so he's going to check out on this thing, right?
Sure, it's gone, it's over. No, Mike Alessi gets around him, and then Ryan Villopoto gets around Alessi. Another of the classic Villopoto-Alessi battles. Villopoto in the lead. We figure now he's going to check out.
He's got 10 seconds. Don't worry about it. He's flying. Dungey's coming back here from 4th. He's trying to make the move around the outside on Chad Reed. That's going to give him 3rd.
Nice line by Dungey there. So he's in the number 3 spot. But while he's doing this battling, Villopoto is getting away.
Yeah, I mean, Villopoto was out. He was gone. And Alessi was trying to hang on to 2nd, and Dungey wisely goes around the outside. Alessi slams the door. Said, I'll just keep my momentum up. But Dungey 10 seconds behind at this point.
Then Reed and Alessi going to battle for the final podium spot for top 3. And Reed is finally able to make the move. Series points leader. Consistent, but not where he wants to be. He wants to be up front. Tommy Hahn, watch this. He's chasing down Alessi and falls. Didn't look like that hard of a crash, but he took a handlebar to the side. That would knock him out of the moto. He thinks he might have cracked some ribs. We'll see
one of the finest rides I have ever seen. And your leader was out front and rolling, and then he stalls the engine. 10-second lead dwindles away.
And Ryan Dungey is going to catch Ryan Villopoto after that mistake. They would battle all the way to the finish, but Villopoto would just hang on by about a second and a half. You see Dungey on the yellow bike right behind him. But Ryan Villopoto gets another moto win. That's 2 moto wins on the year. He did win the overall last week at High Point after winning that first moto. So we'll see if he can make it hold up. Dungey, Reed, Wyndham, Alessi, all those guys are going to try to run him down here in Moto 2. Let's send it down to the third member of our broadcast team, Aaron Bates, who has our progressive pre-race report. Aaron?
We saw Christophe Purcell get his feet wet at Hangtown and at Freestone, but then we haven't seen anything from him since. I caught up with David Villemin, the team manager of Moto Concepts, to find out exactly why he was terminated.
Yeah, our rider, Christophe Purcell, has been terminated. It was a press release out this week from Moto Concepts, and basically, you know, he wasn't comfortable on the bike in Freestone at Run 2, and we wanted to test with him with Yamaha and Kayaba. For 2 weeks, we had a weekend off, so we had a lot of time to test. And everybody stepped up to the plate to test with him, and he never showed up for testing, and he actually did not show up for the race in Mount Morris. So that was maybe the only thing we could do is, you know, terminate the contract.
Yeah, it looks like a few questionable decisions out of the Frenchman, Christophe Purcell. I think he's one of the best riders there is out there, but certainly his career is off track right now.
We'll see if he ever gets another opportunity to come back. Speaking of coming back, when we return, we'll have the second moto after a great first moto was put in the books by Ryan Villopoto. And in an intermission, Spider-Man and Gravedigger showed up to entertain the fans with some monster truck action. The Monsters of Motocross coming up next. Speed's coverage of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship is brought to you by Lucas Oil. Made in America, sold to the world. By the 2011 Toyota Tundra, one of the most capable half-tons ever. And by RockyMountainMC.com, your one-stop shop for parts, apparel, and accessories. RockyMountainMC.com. Get ready. Just saw shots of our nation's Capitol building, Washington, D.C., only about a half hour north of our racetrack here at Budds Creek. And there is a nice international vibe as well to this track, which has hosted a couple of World Grand Prix races, a Motocross of Nations. Let's give you the Rocky Mountain keys to the race on the 33 of Josh Grant, returning back to racing. Jeff.
Yeah, Grant right here in the middle. He's lined up just to the right side of Chad Reed. And he's got Mike Alessi on his left. So welcome back. Put in a great ride, great qualifying. Needs to get another good start to put himself into position. Stay healthy and keep the bike on 2 wheels. He has just had so much time off. It's really important for him to finish both motos here today and lay down the foundation for a successful future.
All right, we're about to turn that 30-second card sideways, and after that, you'll hear the revs climb, and then the gate will drop, and we'll go racing here in Moto number 2 at Budds Creek. Mike Alessi leads them into turn 1. Will he lead them out? I think Ryan Dungey was able to knife through on the inside. They almost collide.
Wow.
Who wants it?
Alessi or Wyndham. I'm not sure who made it across the white stripe first, but I know that Alessi shifted gears faster than anyone and basically chopped Dungey and Wyndham.
So those
three
three
didn't go down.
Yeah, I thought Dungey had the whole shot for sure until Alessi was able to come through. So it's Alessi in the 800 in the lead, the 1 of Dungey, the 22 of Reed. Where did he come from? He's challenging Wyndham, and he gets third.
Villopoto looks like he's going to come around the right of your screen. Green Kawasaki, Moto 1 winner. He is in 5th. Chad Reed needs to do something just like he did last week.
Like he did right now.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, explain Reed's situation here. First moto not so good, but he's back with a vengeance early in this one.
He just could not get things going, and he mentioned to us earlier that he just couldn't find his rhythm. And a champion like Chad, he has the ability to bounce back. And so rhythm and being able to ride those fast lines is what Moto 2 is going to be all about.
Dungey wants a piece of Reed. He's trying to come back, get the number 2 position away from him, with Wyndham 4th, Villopoto 5th, and Mike Alessi getting away out front.
And notice there's some parts of the track where they put some water down, okay? That's to reduce the dust, but in those hard, dusty sections, that's where it's really slippery right now. You can see where the dirt is dark, it's wet. Where it's light, it's more than likely dry.
Back uphill, snaking our way past where the track hooks onto the starting line area. And Alessi already getting away, but this is the Alessi specialty, the good start, strong early laps.
Yeah, this is our onboard section, and you're coming up over Henry Hill. Watch how bumpy it gets coming up through here, and then you drop back down into some serious braking bumps on the other end. And this is the type of sections where the chassis setup, your suspension settings, and of course your technique all play a part. But when a bike is not dialed in and the rider is not jiving with it, you seem to hit every bump. Chad Reed, that's kind of how the first moto was for him. He didn't find his rhythm. We'll see this moto if he bounces back and has a way to find the rhythm and work with the bumps rather than against them.
There's Villopoto on the number 2. Green Kawasaki in 4th. He has gotten around Wyndham now at the end of lap 1. And in the first moto, he was in about this position early on. Then the second and third lap, he really found some extra speed and was able to work his way to the number 1 spot and take off. You see the countdown clock at the top of the screen. 30 minutes and 2 laps we will do here. So we are only about 3 minutes into a longer than 30-minute race.
Let's see what sort of intensity Ryan Villopoto has here as he pushes through the second lap here. And the first moto, he started out on fire, and he wasted no time to get to the front. So you can see right now he's a few seconds behind. He's about 5 behind the leader. Reed and Dungey are in between him. He's followed by Wyndham, who had a pretty good first moto also.
Good battle here. Brett Metcalf on the Suzuki, Jake Weimer on the Kawasaki. That is for 6th and 7th. These two have been pretty close in a lot of the motos this year, and they have hooked up once again, although I know that they want to be a little closer to the lead pack as well. Medi on the outside.
Metcalf working the outside line, doing a good job of not following the rider in front of him. It's really hard to pass a bike when you're in the same line, okay? So he's making good use of the track, trying to find the new lines, and it's okay here early on, especially when you obviously have got the speed on the rider in front of you, and you know that you have them. When you can take some odd lines and you're moving all over the place and you're still on his rear tire, that's when you know that you got this guy.
Tightening up here, 2nd and 3rd, Reed on the 22 and Dungey on the 1. That was reversed early in this race, but Reed made a quick pass. Dungey has regrouped to come back after Reed, who is leading your championship point standings, but he had a 15-point lead coming into the first moto today. He now has a 10-point lead because Villopoto got the drop on everyone in our first race earlier today. And Reed's got to try to get those points back. He's in position to do it with the good start. The best start of all, Mike Alessi, and we'll give you an idea of the gap here in just a moment as we begin the 3rd lap. It's less than a second, only 8/10 between Alessi. Oh, and Alessi almost threw the lead away.
Well, think about the number 22, Chad Reed. He's your points leader. He's also won all 3 second motos this year.
Great point.
End of the day, Reed has been the strongest.
He looked stronger at the end of the day than he did at the beginning. Chad Reed trying to run down Alessi. Mike Alessi continues to lead Chad Reed. A great battle for the number 1 spot of Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Racing from Southern Maryland. There's Alessi, kid out of the high desert of California, the veteran from Australia, all over him.
Well, look at that. Alessi makes a little mistake, and it allows Chad Reed to get to the inside line. He pulls the tear off. This is going to be a drag race. Who can get on the brakes the latest? Wow, did you see how much these bikes are jumping around?
Oh, and Reed, that was not supposed to be a spot where you can make a pass. He's going to try it on the outside anyway.
Let's see if Reed cuts back to the inside, tries to hold the tight line. Yes,
he does. But Alessi's able to hold it. Reed is all over Alessi. They're going to go side by side again. This is another drop away.
And let's see if this rider's left. Now Reed's going to fall down to the inside. Still can't make the pass.
Wow, but where is Reed even finding these opportunities?
Well, and the problem is that by doing this cat and mouse game here with Alessi, that's going to slow them down a little bit. And then Reed's going to have to worry about Dungey
Oh yeah, Dungey in third, sitting back watching. Watch this big step up here.
Just clipped the top, and then over the next roller. Reed's been trying to hold this tight line, and now Alessi picks up on it, but is it enough?
Oh! Side by side again, they're gonna scrub this finish line jump together. Reed on the inside, Alessi on the outside, and I think that's enough for Reed to grab the spot. Alessi ran it hard, but finally Reed has busted the door down. That took, what, 2-3 laps of pressure. And finally the 2-2 is into the #1 spot. How will Ryan Dungey respond to this? Will he go after Alessi?
Well, and this is the type of riding out of Chad Reed, or should we call him Sir Chad Reed at this point,
nice,
that we have not seen in the first motos the last 2 weeks. But the second motos, the Australian has been on fire, and he's shown some serious determination. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going.
Well, Dungey got the memo. He saw Reed go to the #1 spot, so he knows he has to follow Reed through. He's putting a charge on Alessi, and again, you do not see a threat at the moment from Villopoto, who is in fourth. So this is the golden opportunity for all three of these riders to get away from Villopoto, who has won every single race he has ever competed in at this racetrack.
Yeah, Villopoto just a couple seconds behind, and as Dungey tries to work into the #2 position, should be noted that even though we got 20 minutes to go, that if Dungey was to finish the 2-2 and Reed the 3-1, Reed would still win the overall. So the math is going to get pretty tight here.
There's Dungey showing a wheel to Alessi on the inside. Here we go. One of the fastest sections of this track.
Dungey flies down Henry Hill, and look at the wide line. Let's see if he can carry more momentum around the outside and do something with it.
Oh, no, Alessi controlling the good spots on the racetrack. Dungey trying everything he can come up with.
Yeah, the long line didn't work, and it also allowed Ryan Villopoto to catch up about a second. Now you're starting to see him creep into the screen.
Yeah, that's not what these guys want to see. Villopoto, who is lethal on this track. Here is Dungey putting the challenge to Alessi in the same spot Reed did. Nice job walking the tightrope on the inside, and Dungey's going to get the spot. That could not have been easy, Jeff, for him to hold that inside over those jumps at that speed.
It takes some serious physical strength and some technique to maneuver the bike, and that's the type of track where you're really using your lower body to bend the bike around those rollers and those doubles.
Give us the progressive whole shot replay here, Jeff, and explain how Alessi got the whole shot after Dungey was leading down the stretch.
It's Wyndham on the inside. See, he taps the back of Alessi. Both riders hammering the throttle, and it's Alessi that just edges him out. And then watch Alessi get up on the side of the hill. Oh, and they go out of sight. Alessi shifted gears on that 450 KTM and really laid the power down.
Uh-oh, here comes Villopoto. And these two riders, no strangers to each other. We've talked a lot about them racing as kids in the amateur ranks as Villopoto triples around the outside. But they also had they just want to mention, they had a battle back here in 2006 when they first met up as professionals. And a couple of turns from here, Villopoto straight parked Alessi. He took him down, and he said that was revenge for all their battles as amateurs. So there's a lot of history between these two at this track. There's Villopoto on the outside.
The fans know all this, too. They're cheering these guys on. We have got a fantastic crowd here. You see them all lined up under the trees trying to get a little bit of shade. Good 90 degrees out here, and humidity is really high. And here in the second moto, this is when the physical conditioning, this is when it counts. This is when you're doing all your training and everything during the week, and you're suffering through all of that. This is when it pays off.
Villopoto, he knows it's time to go. We're nearing the halfway point of this moto. You see the countdown clock at the top. And while he tussles with Alessi for third, Reed and Dungey are leaders. Oh, a mistake! Reed and Dungey are getting away, and now even further away from Villopoto as he clipped that hay bale.
It's going to give Alessi a little bit of breathing room, maybe a chance to get his heart rate back down, to focus on the lines that he wants to ride, not the defensive lines that he might be forced to ride, and get back in his groove. And Mike has the ability to do that.
But Villopoto has the ability to close the gap back in. So it'll be interesting as the 800 and the 2 square off for the #3 spot, while Dungey tries to attack Reed for the #1 position. What a great setup for a battle to the wire here in Maryland. Ryan Villopoto has caught back up to Mike Alessi. So here's your race for third. Alessi on the left, Villopoto on the right. The big step up. Villopoto clears the whole thing. Is that going to be enough to allow him to make the pass? No.
Wow, look at Alessi. He just stayed in his line, but Villopoto relentless.
Wow.
Over the finish line jump.
I didn't think he'd be able to make this happen. He started on the outside, switched to the inside, and Villopoto's got the spot.
He's just got too much strength at this point of the moto for Mike Alessi. It's a great ride by Mike Alessi. I cannot underestimate how impressed I am with him coming back from the injury in the first round and to be riding basically a 3-4 last week. He was docked one position, so he goes 4-4 at High Point. Now he's coming back another top 4 ride here with about half the race left to go on one of the toughest tracks of the year.
Reed and Dungey duking it out for the #1 spot. It's as close as they have been since the opening lap of this race when Reed made a pass on Dungey. Now Reed got to hope that Dungey doesn't repay him and get him back here in the second half of the race.
Well, these guys are laying down an incredible pace. 205s for both of our leaders.
Wow.
Alessi and, well, Alessi was a 209s, obviously why he was headed backwards. With Villopoto, a 207 last time around. So Villopoto's about 8 seconds behind this group here. And these guys need to keep working at it because Villopoto may just close that gap up if they play the cat and mouse game.
Aaron Bates, what's happening trackside?
What a battle that's taking place right now between Reed and Dungey. Both of those boys made minor changes during the afternoon for the second moto. Ryan Dungey just did minor tweaks here and there, nothing overly crazy. This is just to adapt to the way the track is changing. But Chad Reed, on the other hand, fresh tires from him, just looking for any additional traction.
Wow, so Reed not changing much. Struggling in Moto 1, strong in Moto 2. So, like you said, Jeff, earlier, it's all on him. The bike's fine.
It's on him. Just get some fresh rubber on the bike with those nice sharp edges because you're going to need it. These sections right here when you're leaning the bike over and you're on the throttle. And even through there, that last double down has got a wet spot there. And, man, when you get the right tire set up, it seems like you can do whatever you want with the bike. You can put it in any line. You can go up this off-camber hill right here and just lean the bike into the turn as the track's going away from you and just ride on those side knobs. Oh, it was so good. I'm telling you, factory bike. Factory tires.
By the end of this race, Jeff Emming's coming out of retirement. Just watching this battle on this racetrack has got you fired up. But why wouldn't it? Look how good this is as Dungey is ready to try to make a pass.
Hey, if I could scream and take my shirt off and wave it right now, I'd be one of those fans out there. I love this stuff. I love seeing what these riders are doing. We spoke about it at the opening of the show. I really felt that these riders were going to separate themselves from the rest of the pack. And so far, I was right.
Well, we thought it'd be the 3 doing it, but the 2 are separating themselves. Reed just ran a 206, Dungey a 205.8, and Villopoto a 208.7. So they're about 2 seconds quicker than Villopoto right now.
And that's what's impressive about what our leaders are doing is not only, you know, you have a tendency when you're in the lead, when somebody catches you, to start riding, I'm defensive. Reed said, no, I'm not going to ride defensive here. I'm going to step it up. And I'm going to raise the level once again because I've won every second moto this year, and I'm not giving this up here at Budds Creek either.
We have seen some great races between these 2 riders already in the Young 2011 series. Had it in the second moto at our opener in Hangtown. Had it in the second moto of round 2 at Freestone. Another great one here. It's so hard to pick a favorite between Dungey and Reed. They have been so equally matched so far.
Yeah, Dungey tried a new line there. It didn't work. He's just outside of the roost off of Chad's bike, so no big mistake. Just has to remember that next time around after Henry Hill, he's going to have to funnel down to the inside. The outside is not going to work there.
Whoa! Dungey doing everything he can to keep the bike on the inside of that left-hand turn. He just held on to the motorcycle. This Friday, Orange County, Californians are home to the greatest collector car event in the world, Barrett-Jackson, and you can see it on Speed. The finest, rarest, most desirable cars on the planet are all in one place, and it's all up for grabs. Watch the auction live on Speed, Friday at 5 Eastern on Speed. Speed's coverage of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship is brought to you by Progressive Insurance, #1 in motorcycle insurance. the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis. And meanwhile, we've got some history being made, not just as racers on the track, but a wedding. On the left is Jonathan Beasley, the owner of Budds Creek Raceway, getting married during halftime with Roger DeCoster, the man, as the best man. And the man in this moto is Chad Reed, looking to make a little history of his own. Wants to win this thing. While we are away at break, Ryan Dungey was all over Reed, and Reed has weathered the storm and pulled back ahead.
Yeah, and it's interesting to note that in 2009, when Chad was with Team Suzuki, Roger DeCoster was guiding him through his first and only, to this point, AMA Motocross Championship. So lots of history made as Chad wrapped up that title here at this facility.
That's right.
In what was it a race or a personal watercraft race, a jet ski race? It was something.
Yes.
It was really wet that day.
Yeah, the whole track was a Budds Creek, basically.
Yeah.
Now we're going to explain how the overall works. Look at the top of the screen. This would be your overall. Reed, if he wins the moto, a third and a first would give him 45 points. He would tie Villopoto on points, but Reed would win the tiebreaker by virtue of the better second moto, and Dungey would finish third. He'd be 1 point back. So Dungey essentially has to catch Reed. If he beats him in this moto, he beats him for the entire afternoon.
Well,
and Dungey's not done.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of our point system. 25 for first, 22-20, and you get that one extra point for winning the moto. That's the incentive for going out, and the overalls don't count towards championship points. We score the championship for each individual moto.
You just saw the leaders go by. We'll give you an idea of the gap now between those two and Villopoto, and they have just left Villopoto in this one. This will actually, should be, the first ever defeat for Villopoto at this track. He had won 9 out of 9 motos in his career at Budds Creek. Way back now in third. But behind him, Kevin Windham in fourth. Great ride for the 33-year-old. Who is probably going to take the rest of the summer off. He was only here as a replacement ride for Josh Grant, who is now back from injury. So Kevin did the job, rode the bike while Grant was out, and he'll probably call it a summer. But what a way to end this little guest performance.
Wow, look at that. Double down. That's a blind little double into that turn. Kevin, last lap around was at 210. Villopoto was just about a half a second or so faster. But let's see if Windham can keep the charge going. Keep the momentum on and pick off Villopoto here. That would ruin Villopoto's day at this point if he dropped one more position.
Yeah, because at least right now, Villopoto and Reed would end the day tied in points. If Windham gets Villopoto, Villopoto would drop from second overall to third behind Dungey, and he would lose a couple of points on the day to Reed. Doesn't want that to happen. So we've been wondering who could maybe spoil the party with our top 3, and maybe it's Kevin Windham. What are you hearing about Kevin, Aaron?
Well, if he's going to spoil, he's definitely got a little bit of time to do so, but I was speaking with Brian Palma, his mechanic, and the only thing that he had changed up, a special request, a Kevin Windham request, a brand new shock for the second moto. He just really likes the feel, and he wants to be comfortable at his final race this summer.
Well, that's interesting. It seems like Aaron is referring to a new shock with a new setup, fresh oil and all that, but the same spec. And now a shock that actually takes a little bit of time to break in, and a fresh one seems to be just what the doctor ordered at this point for Team Honda and Kevin Windham.
And we expect the other American Honda racing rider, Trey Kennard, to be back. They're saying maybe at Millville, Minnesota in about a month's time. Honda, as team, has been decimated by injuries this year. That's why they brought Windham in. Windham was only supposed to race the indoor Supercross Tour. Now that Josh Grant is back, Windham can take the rest of the summer off. But every time Windham has a good ride like this, he probably starts thinking twice and thinking maybe I should race a few more. In fact, look at this. He has closed back up to Villopoto. This is a bad lap for Villopoto. He had a little gap built up, but it's gone.
Yeah, look at Kevin right now. This is when he is at his best. He is effortless out there, flowing around the track. He has that rhythm that we spoke of earlier, and Villopoto seems to have no rhythm at this point. I don't know if it's physical, if it's mental, but right now, Villopoto is definitely come under fire from the veteran Kevin Windham, seeing he's 13th all-time on the overall win list. Pretty incredible career that he's had. And that's the thing about Kevin Windham, and that's why Honda, whether he's on Geico Honda team or rides a factory team, you can always count on him being there. He's been one of the most consistent riders. Doesn't seem to get hurt a lot, and always right there.
Well, the fans want him to be always right there on the podium. And if he could have his last race of the summer and end it in 3rd place, they will go crazy here at Budds Creek, as Wyndham is quite possibly the most popular rider on the tour. He's been around so long, so much respect for what he's done. And how about this, with just over 2 laps to go, he is trying to get Villopoto for the number 3 spot. While Dungey tries to get Reed and Wyndham tries to get Villopoto. Man, some great racing to watch here. Saturday, the Rolex Sports Car Series is revving up for a fight on a new battlefield. For the first time in a decade, Grand Am returns to Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, and this legendary track promises road racing at its best. Don't miss the Rolex Sports Car Series, Saturday live, 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific, only on Speed.
I'm telling you, Weege, the number 2 of Ryan Villopoto, our first moto winner, he's out there, and he just does not have that flow and the rhythm that he had in Moto 1. He stretched it out a little bit on Wyndham, and now we go back to the lead.
And Ryan Dungey is still close enough to make something happen down the stretch with a lap and a half to go. Reed leads it. Dungey is right there. We've seen this happen between these two several times this year. So maybe watch the lines here. What do you think? Does Dungey have some spots picked out to try to make a pass on the final lap?
Yeah, Dungey's on it now. Reed didn't draw such good lines going up that last hill. You see his mechanic there, Lars, pointing to the back, telling him that, hey, the competition is there.
And Dungey is still right there. Who's going to win this one on Father's Day weekend? It would be a special one for whoever does it. Only 2nd Father's Day ever for Chad Reed. He would be happy. We talked to a bunch of these riders about what their dads mean to them, especially important in motocross because it's a family sport and dad's got to help to get to the races. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I always just look at it, Father's Day as being something that you looked up to your dad, and it's definitely pretty special to have my own little son.
Now being a father, race and you're away from your family, which makes it tough for Father's Day, but it's definitely special, and it makes you proud too to see your kids and see how special they are to you.
Father's Day is it's changed just from the fact that to feel the appreciation from them. I mean, you feel it on a daily basis, but to have a day where they come and they really say thank you and stuff is really cool. And to be a father is not really about getting a reward, but to have them just come on that day and make the special little cards and give you the hug and really show you, go above and beyond showing the love. It makes you feel good. And like I said, just kind of the reward comes from every day, to be honest with you, raising them and watching them do all the cool things that they're doing. My oldest is now 8, and she's into some really cool stuff herself. So the rewards are daily, but to have that one special day where they can jump on you and give you a hug and show you that card they made while you're off at a race is pretty cool.
It's changed quite a bit, being a dad now, got a lot of different things to do and changing diapers, and it's a completely different world, but I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. It's a cool experience.
Want to talk about a cool experience? How about trying to wrestle the lead away from Chad Reed in the last lap of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross event? That's what Ryan Dungey's trying to do. You see Reed, the 22, and Dungey, the number 1. It is still close with a half a lap to go.
Both riders having to pick their way through the lapped riders, but through the mechanics area, you see everyone from Team Honda waving the towels and cheering on 22 of Chad Reed. He's on his way to winning the overall.
I think he's going to do
Moto
it.
2.
Man, a terrible performance in Moto 1. He bounces back strong. He beats Villopoto, Dungey, and left in the rest. Chad Reed, 1 lap to go. Can he do this? Can he get it? And with Dungey being this close and this much lap traffic, I mean, what is even running through their mind right now? I mean, you got to deal with lappers, with pressure, with lines, fatigue.
This is when the intensity is so high because you know what's on the line. And your body's hurting, your hands are hurting, your heart rate and your lungs are just completely maxed out, and you're just letting it all on the line, and you're a little loose right now, okay? You're not like, your body is a little bit weaker than at the start of the moto, but this is what you train for, is to be able to ride the full 30 minutes plus 2 laps.
Aaron, what do you have on the 22?
A very cute Chad Reed celebrating his 2nd Father's Day with baby Tate. He had just got two hands with a heart in the middle. I love Dad on the back of his butt patch that he's sporting here around Budds Creek for Father's Day.
That's incredible artwork for a 1-year-old.
Yeah, impressive. Well, you know the guys at his
Yeah,
gear
guys at
company
Schiff might
that
have
really
done
helped
that,
out. Okay, will Tate get to see his dad, Chad, take the win? Again, I think the lap traffic hurt Dungey more than Reed, because look at Reed has stretched it out a bit again.
But he really has no time to waste unless there was an issue with Dungey. Chad takes a look back, and that is a great opportunity in that 180-degree turn to see just where the competition is. Takes another look back here. You can tell he's got a little cushion. He's got to feel good about that. But there's still some really technical sections here coming up that Chad's going to have to maneuver through if he's going to take this moto win. See right there, you cannot let up. You got to take it all the way to the checkered flag.
Well, this is shades of our second moto of the opener at Hangtown, when Dungey, with 2 laps to go, put in the charge, got to the rear wheel of Reed, but didn't have enough left after that charge to challenge him to the checkered flag.
And that's kind of been the story of Dungey all year. He's just been a click off from being able to win the motos and win the overall. He's been really close.
Chad Reed looks over his shoulder. He doesn't see any competition, so he looks forward, and all he sees is the checkered flag. Reed is going to win the overall here at Budds Creek.
What an incredible second effort from Chad Reed.
Hey, nice job back for Josh Grant. Give me the keys to the race. And what do you think? Good performance by him. He's in the top 10.
Top 10. He's doing exactly what he needed to do here. And the most important thing was ride every lap.
He did. He got all the laps in. He stayed healthy. Rocky Mountain ATV MC keys to the race, so he followed them, right?
Yep.
All right, so that's
Welcome
good for
back,
Josh Grant.
And happy Father's Day.
First Father's Day for him. That's correct. So Grant will take the mantle from Kevin Windham for the Honda team over the next couple of weeks. But another Honda has got the win, and that's Chad Reed. He holds off Ryan Dungey. The final margin of victory, 4 seconds, and Reed gained 3 seconds on Dungey on the last lap alone. So once again, Reed is the strong man down the stretch, and he's got himself his 3rd victory of the year. This July, baseball's biggest stars will gather together in the Arizona desert for one spectacular night in the summer's biggest event, as Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2011 Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 12th, live from Phoenix, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on Fox. Time for the Lucas Oil race recap from 450 Moto 2 here in Maryland.
And boy, what a race it was. You see Dungey on the inside. Windham is there, and watch as they round turn 1. It's Mike Alessi on the KTM who shifts the gears and ends up with the whole shot.
But Chad Reed would make a move on Ryan Dungey and then make a move on Alessi and would take the early lead.
Question is where is Moto 1 winner Ryan Villapoto as Reed
takes the win, yeah, and we never saw Villapoto challenge like he did in Moto 1. We were really surprised that Villapoto wasn't able to get up there. Reed held off Dungey down the stretch. He's your winner. Let's send it down to Aaron Bates.
It was definitely a bounce back from Moto number 1, but Chad, you came out swinging out there. What is it about this track that you seem to excel at so much? You won here back in 2009 as well.
I mean, I love this track, and you know, like I said to you in the first one, I just had no pace. I just had no rhythm. And I needed to go back to the truck and have a good think about myself, and came back out, got another great start, and actually passed people, and that's a good thing. So, man, huge thanks to all the guys at Bellray, Tutu Motorsports, American Honda, Mitch at PC, all the guys at Etnies, Skull Candy, FX, and just proud, man, proud that we haven't lost a second moto this year. And it's not my fitness, man. I gotta hit my marks every moto, otherwise these two are gonna take advantage of it.
What do you think that you're doing differently right now from your competitors to keep you on your A game?
I would just say, you know, like putting myself in good positions in the second motos. Those two have got speed, and when they get out front, they're lethal. And just try to put a stop to that. I tried to just maintain a good pace that I felt like I could do, and slow the pace down a little bit so I could find some lines, and then eventually the pace got up a little bit. So pump for an overall today.
Maybe it was that I love Chad, I love Dad butt patch that paid off. Congratulations on a great day. Happy Father's Day.
Here are the results from the second moto here at Budds Creek. Dungey second. Villapoto did hold off Windham to take third. And Alessi held on for fifth, so not sure if the bike had problems or what, but he was able to recover and hold on for a top 5. Metcalf, Weimer, Short, Millsaps, and Grant right now the top 10. Not what Millsaps was looking for today after a podium earlier in the year.
Yeah, but it was really surprising. Villapoto at the end was 45 seconds behind the leader.
Yeah. Hey, this is only the 4th round of the year. We've got lots more racing coming up. We'll show you the Toyota moving forward schedule. We're going to Lakewood, Colorado, outside of Denver next weekend. Speed will have coverage at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. That's their 450 class. Then NBC will have coverage of our next race from Redbud at Buchanan, Michigan. Then it's Millville, Minnesota, and Washougal, Washington with 450 coverage on Speed July 16th and July 23rd as we roll through the summer. Meanwhile, the Reed family's happy. They got Tate here. There's Ellie Reed, mom on the left, and they've got themselves a great trophy to bring home and celebrate Father's Day tomorrow. Speed's coverage of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship is brought to you by Lucas Oil, made in America, sold to the world. And by the 2011 Toyota Tundra, one of the most capable half-tons ever. Welcome back. Fans were treated to a spectacular race in our second 450 moto. Aaron Bates has our runner-up, Ryan Dungey.
What a ride for Ryan Dungey. And Ryan, you just said you feel a little disappointed. You thought you had the speed today to get this job done. What was it that held you back?
You know, it's nothing, you know. I mean, we work hard. The bike ran pretty good today. First moto, we fought it a little bit. Second moto was a little bit better, and I felt really comfortable out there. Just was behind Chad. Chad was putting down good laps, you know, and when a guy puts down good laps and you're right there with him, it's hard to make a pass, and that was tough, you know, some lappers. But, you know, nothing taken from him. Just got to say Happy Father's Day to my father tomorrow. Tomorrow's Father's Day, and to all them fathers out there. And sure you're proud, and thanks for everything to everybody. It's been a long season, but we got a lot left, and just got to keep our head down, man.
Ryan, tell us about the lappers and how much did that impact your ride today?
You know, it's a shame. You know, sometimes lappers get in the way, and whether they know it or not, you know, I don't know. But it's racing. It's part of the game. It's part of the sport, and it's grueling. It's tough. It's a man's sport, but we'll try to be more man and come back ready in Lakewood next weekend.
Great job. Congratulations.
Here are your overall results, and you can see how close Dungey was. He's 1 point behind Reed and Villapoto for the day, so he'll lose 1 point in the overall championship standings for the season. Wyndham 4th overall, Alessi 5th. The rest of these guys just outside of that top 5, you know they want a little more than that. Talking about Metcalf, Millsaps, Weimer, Short, and Grant. Let's send it back down to Aaron with Ryan Villapoto.
Ryan Villapoto, he won that first moto, but Ryan, it looked as though you had lost a little bit of your rhythm during that second moto. Take us through what happened.
Yeah, you know, just what really wasn't there, and then I got a bad stomach ache. But you know, the guys are riding good today. Just in that second moto, just need to pick some better lines, and you know, just couldn't do it without the whole Monster Energy, Kawasaki, Dunlop, Thor, Parts Unlimited, Alpenstars, Oakley, Vans, Maxima Rental, Falcon Tires, Volcom, Specialized, just everybody. Thank you.
That's it, the first ever loss of a moto for Ryan Villapoto, and he started racing here in 2006. We'll show you the series point standings now, and Villapoto made up some ground on Reed and then lost some ground.
Yeah, but it's more so about how your performance was that day, and you can tell he's pretty disappointed. I'm sure the win streak is not really on his mind. He just realized that that was a really bad moto, and he needs to pick it up.
Hey, Aaron Bates has got one more rider to talk to before he says goodbye to us. Aaron, who do you have?
That's right. It looks like this is going to be the moment of a farewell. Kevin, you put in a great effort out there today. What does it mean to you to go out on such a positive note?
It feels great. You know, I'm hurting right now, bad, but you never forget the cheers of these fans. After I recover from this, I'll still remember that. And I'd like to thank Honda and Geico, MSR, DVS, all the guys for helping me get out here, Shoei, and you know, it's just incredible to come out here. It gets harder and harder every year, but it seems like the crowd gets louder and louder, and I better quit talking right now because I feel like I'm about to pass out.
Give you a little bit of air. These fans definitely go crazy for you every time you go around, but how much motivation does that give you to finish off your race?
It means everything to me, you know. I wish I could get the results, but when you don't, that's all you got, and it feels good.
You'll be missed. Have a great summer.
Fuel your passion for motorcycle racing with Speed Motorcycle Text Alerts powered by Yamaha. Get the latest motor racing results and breaking news as soon as they become available, sent right to your phone. Just text MOTO to Speed 3 for the alerts now.
Well, Kevin's got 4 children at home to go home to and spend the summertime while we're out here hammering out Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship. And temperatures starting to rise. Riders are stepping up, and we're starting to see who is fit
Man, it's going to be a great, great championship chase. Congratulations to Chad Reed for taking the win today. Ryan Dungey, Ryan Villapoto, they'll be back to fight him at our next round next week in Colorado. For Aaron Bates and Jeff Emig, I'm Jason Wygant. Big thanks to you for watching our show today. And the 2-2 Motorsports train rolls on. 3 wins in 4 rounds this year. We'll see if we get another one next week.